everyone, welcome to PhotoPlay's YouTube channel and welcome to Tuesdays with Tina. My name is Tina Smith and today I'm excited to share with you 6 card projects. We're going to create quick and easy cards using the 12x12 Land That I Love collection pack. Originally I was just going to do a couple but then kept going and going. I couldn't pick a favorite to share with you, so I'm just going to create 6 of them. It's super easy to do also. We're going to be using the beautiful pattern papers in this Land That I Love collection pack along with lots of stickers. I love putting stickers on cards as embellishments, and there's a lot of fabulous ones in here along with some fun ones that you can use for sentiments. I'm also going to create some background panels with the PhotoPlay papers, My Color cardstock. This is the Land That I Love variety pack. There's 4 colors, 2 of each color, and they're 12x12 sheets. The ones we're going to be using today is the Scarlet, the Classic White, and the Commodore. So we have some paper trimming to do, and I'm going to pick out some pattern papers and we'll jump into our very first card. To make these cards quick and easy, we're going to be using a few pattern papers. This is the cut apart sheet, and I think there's a lot of fun images in here. The back side has this beautiful splattery look. I'm going to trim these down into these are 3x4 panels, but these are a little bit larger. I'm going to trim down the panels that I'm going to use. And then what I love is that there's 3 more here that are perfect for card making. Quick and easy cards. If you were to make a 4x4 card, these just go perfect right on the top and boom, you're done. I love also that on this sheet you have 2 different prints. This has some stars on here and then you have some diagonal stripes. I just love that. The reverse side has borders too, which is really nice. So we're going to be using this pattern paper, each of these, and I'm going to cut this one out here too. So I'm going to do a little bit of trimming, and you'll notice here that this is the My Colors cardstock. I trimmed down 2 blue A2 panels, 2 red ones, and then 2 white, just to make it easier for trimming and card making. So I'll finish trimming these away and we'll get started with our very first card. For my first card, we're going to be using this star pattern paper. I'm going to trim this down so it's 4 inches by 5 1/4, just using my paper trimmer. And so this is going to leave me a little bit of a border on my card base. Let me show you. I'm going to go ahead and glue this on here, and we're not going to use this one on the card. Wonderful. Now, I love how big these rockets are or firecrackers are, and I'm going to go ahead and use my scissors. I'm going to fussy cut these out. It's very easy to do because the lines on here are straight lines. I'm going to show you. Straight cut, and I'll just continue fussy cutting this out. I went ahead and fussy cut out my rockets. Okay, and then I also, for this card, am going to use a cut apart sheet. This is the 3x4 cut apart sheet. We're going to mat that on our crimson cardstock. I'm going to go ahead and do that right now, just adding a little bit of glue. And of course, if you wanted to use a tape runner, you very well could. I thought these little firecrackers background would go really good in the background with this, like so. I'm going to take this panel and glue this to the middle of my card base. And then I did put some foam tape behind my rockets or my firecrackers. We're going to go ahead and adhere this on our panel, and we're going to adhere it at an angle so you can see the firecrackers behind it. I think that's really fun. Now I went through my stash and I found some silver thread. I thought it would go really good with the firecracker theme. We're going to eventually put that here, but we need a sentiment. For my sentiment, I'm going to bring in a piece of vellum and our sticker sheet. I'm going to take Independence Day here. I'm going to layer it on my vellum in the bottom corner so I don't have to cut very much. And I'm going to trim around it. So we have our sentiment. Now I'm going to flip this around and I'm going to add my silver twine. This is pretty thin stuff, but I thought it would just add a little bit of texture to our card. And the nice thing is you can kind of manipulate it to where you want it to go, and you can also take the ends of that twine and tuck it in the back so you can't see the ends. I think that's perfect. Now since we've popped up these rockets, I am going to add one more piece of foam tape right here on this side. And then we will go ahead and add this. Wonderful. I'm going to add a little bit more sparkle by using some silver pearls, and we will just pick up a few and add some around our card here. I put some in the center of the fireworks, and I think that's just the right amount. That will finish off card 1, a pretty quick and easy card. And we're going to move along to our next card. For my next card, we're going to be using the heart cut apart sheet, but before I'm going to actually fussy cut this out. And then I'm also going to be using these 2 pieces of pattern paper and the bracket and charms die set. I love the brackets in here. Although these are made for a mini slimline card, I'm going to use them on an A2. So I'm not concerned about the upper portion of these brackets. So I'll take the largest. We're going to die cut out a panel with our stripes. And then we'll take the smallest and die cut out a panel with our stars. I'm going to fussy cut this heart out, and then I will layer it on my vellum and create a vellum shadow. And I will do this, and I will be right back. So these are my brackets. You can see that the top is cut off. What we're going to do is layer both of these together using glue. I'm going to even out the top area here with my paper trimmer. Just took a little bit off of here. I'm going to take this panel and then I'm going to add some glue behind here. And we're going to tack this down to the front of our card base, and we're going to place it all the way at the top of a side folding. All of my card bases are side folding today. This is going to go in the middle all the way at the top. After this is adhered, we're going to layer both of our vellum and our fussy cut heart. We'll layer these 2 together. If you wanted to use tape, you could. And then you'll see these 2 stickers. I took the firecracker here and I put some foam tape behind it. I put foam tape behind it and then dabbed a little bit of my embossing anti-static powder behind it to take away the tackiness of the sticker. And I did the same thing with our sentiment that says United We Stand. Just put some foam tape. Now I did leave a little bit of a gap here, and you'll see the reason for that in just a minute. So we have our vellum and our heart stuck together. I'm going to flip this around, and using some foam squares, we're going to adhere that, kind of offsetting it on our panel here. Once our firecrackers adhered, the reason I left that gap between the 2 is because we did pop up the firecracker and I want it to be all one level. And so the gap is going to go right over the firecracker here. I'm going to finish this card off with a few of the silver pearls. And one in the middle of the firecracker, and that is our second card. For my next card, we're going to make this one pretty easy. I need to trim down, you see the white area that's on the bottom of my cut apart. I want to trim that off just so that blue is showing. Now this is larger than an A2 size card base. You can see here it overlaps, but that's okay. We'll do a little trimming after the fact. But I'm going to use my scissors and I'm going to trim around the bottom edge of this flag. And then I will pop up the flag portion, but we're going to keep this bottom area. This is trimmed out. I put foam tape behind here, and I haven't trimmed it to an A2 size yet. I like to do that after it's on my card. Just for me it's easier, but if you wanted to trim first and then add the foam tape, you very well could. But I like to be able to position this on my card. And I really like the stars on this side, so I'm looking at trimming the right side. So we'll line the corners up here. And with this piece, we're going to keep this piece also. But rather than pop this up with foam tape, I'm going to use my glue. We're going to add this to the back. But rather than go right up against it, I'm going to leave about 1/4 of an inch gap by adding this to the very bottom of my card base. Maybe a little bit more than 1/4. Like so. So we have a little bit of dimension. I'm going to go ahead and trim away the excess here. I already went through my stickers and I picked out the sentiment that says Home of the Brave. These are good for Veterans Day too, or any military family members. I'm going to place that on the bottom, and then we're going to finish this off with a few more of those pearls. And this is a pretty quick and simple card, but I love the simplicity of it. I just think it looks wonderful. We're going to move along to our next card. We're going to be using the cut apart for this card, and I'm going to use my paper trimmer and trim this down, taking about 1/2 of an inch off the top and the bottom. Once we have this trimmed, I have a strip of that red and white stripe paper. I'm going to add a thin bead of glue over it. This is a 1/2 inch strip. I'm going to add a thin bead of glue at the very top, and then we're going to add this panel right over the top of this. I'm going to take my paper trimmer once more, and we are going to trim this to an A2 panel. Now that our panel is evenly spaced, I'm going to take my Commodore Blue cardstock. We're going to adhere this. This has a woven texture or a canvas texture to it. I'm going to make sure that that's on the top. The back side of this is smooth. Make sure it's facing right side up. And this is going to be a complete card front panel. Once this is adhered, I do want to mention to you that this cardstock, these are 12 by 12 sheets, so you could actually create card bases. I like to stretch it though and put it on white card bases. I'm going to take my USA panel, flip it around. We're going to put some foam tape behind here. I'm going to take this panel and adhere this to my card landscape style. We're going to go all the way, well no, we're going to go about 1/4 of an inch from the top, and then we'll press down. Wonderful. Now we need some stickers. I want to add a few little stickers over here. I'm going to take the sunglasses. I think are pretty cool. And then I'm also going to take Uncle Sam's hat. I like this one. Here. And I'm going to cut off one of these bottle caps. The very first one on the bottom here. Here. I went ahead and put some foam squares behind our stickers, and so it's not tacky. Before I remove the release paper, I'm going to use my anti-static powder tool. And again, just go over that sticker. I did this to all my stickers because this way when it ships, it won't flatten. But so now we have turned our sticker into a die cut. I'll do the same thing with my sunglasses. And I'm going to take one of my tags. Again, this is the Bracket and Charms die set. I'm going to take, this one has like a bottle cap edge to it. I think it's going to go really good with the bottle cap here. So I'm going to take some white cardstock and I will die cut out a bottle cap tag. Since this is, I'm going to take some of that silver thread. I'm going to thread it through here. This is pretty thin twine, but it does add just the right amount of sparkle to your tags. I'll thread it through and I'll tie a bow here. I'm doubling up on that thread. So I created a bow. Now I'm going to take this sticker here. This is actually a bottle cap border. It's very pretty. Let me show you. You see how that is? So neat. So you could use any one of these bottle caps for your card project. But I'm going to take this and layer it right in the middle. It's going to cover the whole of my tag, but you're still going to be able to see the bow. Okay, and then we're going to remove the release paper off of our stickers. And now I put a foam square behind our little tag. I'm going to add this on the very bottom here as well. We'll add that, and then I'm going to take some of those silver pearls, and we're going to add a few. I think that's just the right amount. And that will finish off that card. For my next card, I thought we'd make summer and ice cream just go good together. So I have another piece of the Commodore blue cardstock. Again, making sure that woven or the canvas print is facing up. I'm going to flip this around, add some glue behind here, and we'll attach this to the card base. And then I trim down our ice cream pattern paper so it is slightly smaller. And that ice cream paper is going to go right in the middle of this one. I trimmed down a piece of white cardstock. This measures 2 1/4 inches wide by 3 1/2 inches tall. This is going to be matted on some of my red and white stripe paper. I'm going to go ahead and adhere this right over the top. So we have those stripes showing behind. Almost looks like a post office mark or a barber shop, but I think it goes really well with ice cream. Okay, for my sentiment, I'm going to bring in some of the crimson cardstock. This is a leftover piece, and I'm going to use, I think, Sweet Land of Liberty will go really well with this card. I'm going to add this to my crimson cardstock, just evenly spacing on the very bottom. And then I'll bring in my paper trimmer and I'm going to trim this down. Before we finish up, I do have a piece of the same Commodore blue cardstock. What we're going to do is take our Bracket and Charms die set, and then I'm going to take the smallest tag in it, and we are going to die cut out a tag here with this. So we have a real small tag, and you know what? In our sticker set, there's a USA sticker. I'm going to take that, and I think I can get this to fit if I trim the left and the right here. So we'll just take a little bit off the sticker on the left and the right, and then we'll adhere this sticker on that small tag. Once we do this, it fit perfectly. You can probably see it better on that. And then I'm going to take that same silver twine and I'm going to tie a bow with this in that tag. So we have a little extra sparkle here. Now I did put foam tape behind this panel that we created. I'm going to remove the release paper and place this in the center of our card base. Wonderful. I did put foam tape behind my sentiment also. What we're going to do is adhere this on the bottom here, evenly spacing it. I think that's a good spot. And then we're going to arrange our ice cream in the upper portion here. I remember the ice cream trucks had that one. I didn't like that color. I think it was banana and chocolate. We're going to add a piece of foam tape behind here. And then we can place this. I think this is a great spot in this bottom right corner. I love that little silver sparkle. And that will finish that card. If you wanted to put glossy accents over the top of this, you very well could. But that is that card. For my next card, I'm going to use this cut apart. Now this looks a little bit longer than normal, but that's because when I trimmed it out, this was on the very bottom of our cut apart. So what we're going to do is take our stars paper. I'm going to add a little glue at the bottom here of our panel. I'm just making sure it's going to fit here. I think that's a great spot for this, okay? And then I'm going to add a little more glue. And I'm going to add my stripe paper right over the top of that. I'm going to go ahead and trim away the excess. And then I'm going to go one step further because I love stitch lines and stitch details. You could completely skip this part if you wanted to, but I'm going to take the smaller bracket, and I think I can get away with die cutting this out. So I'm going to line this up here, center it. Okay. Kind of just makes your cut aparts look completely different. We're going to take our crimson cardstock. We're going to add that to our card base, covering the entire front. And again, you can create card bases with the My Colors cardstock. I'm going to take this and I'm going to add some of that silver twine. I'm going to double it up so you can see it. I love the way this looks. I don't know what it is, but this bottom portion with the bracket and the stars and stripes kind of reminds me of Wonder Woman. I don't know why, but I'm going to flip this around. We're going to put some foam tape behind here and we're going to attach it to here. I have the stars and stripes sticker that I put foam tape behind. Now it says Independence Day, but I thought we'd add a little bit of dimension by popping up stars and stripe right over that. So it says Stars and Stripe Day, just to give a little bit of dimension to the card. You could skip that if you wanted to, but then I also popped up the red star, and I'm going to place that in the middle of our hat here. Since we have some flowers, I'm going to use those silver pearls, and we're going to add some flower centers with them. And that will finish off my final card for today. So we have some super fun cards that we created with the PhotoPlay paper, Land That I Love, 12 by 12 collection pack. I think these are some super fun and pretty quick and easy cards to create with the collection pack. Great for 4th of July and for Veterans Day or any kind of military personnel in your life. But I thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye.